Believe me, I could live without you, but I really don't want to. Believe me, I could love without you, but I really don't need to. 'Cause leaving is the hardest thing to do. But being left is hard, oh yes it's true. But you're coming back. How do I get back to you, to you, to you? How can I get back to you? Let me get back to you. Leaving is the hardest thing to do. But being left is hard, oh yes it's true. But you're coming back. How do I get back to you, to you, to you? But you're Cause leaving is the hardest thing to do. But being left is hard, oh yes it's true. But you're coming back. How do I get back to you, to you, to you? How can I get back to you? Let me get back to you. Let me get back to you. But I don't wanna face it. All this time that I wasted. You're so close, I can taste it. I cannot get back to you. 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 I cannot get back to you.
I cannot get back to you. I cannot get back to you. I cannot get back to you. I cannot get back to you.
Okay, welcome back everyone to Suiji Spring Cup 2020 for our last two matches of the day, our last two matches of the round of 32. I am your host, this one guy, and we're going to be starting off by bringing you Team PeepoLeave versus Team The Nation in our Seed 12 versus Seed 21 matchup. It's going to be, I think, an interesting couple of matches here we've got this afternoon for you. Should be some good ones. We've got some good players involved here, and I'd like to think they're going to put on a show for us. Starting off, as we said, PeepoLeave versus The Nation. PeepoLeave are number 12 seed. We will introduce them. They are an average BWS of 777 with 11 badges to their name. Their members at A seed are Reedcat and Nero, owner of 8 of those 11 badges himself, which I didn't realize. Anybody else realize that Nero has 8 badges? Like, my goodness, that dude's just been around. Their B seeds, Tomadoy and No01. Their C seeds are Not a Function and --W --, which I'll probably just be calling W because that whole name is really annoying to try to say. And their D seeds are Ataraxia and none other than the infamous Jonah Cornlord 7117 himself. On the other side, The Nation, well, you can probably guess who one of their players is already. They are the 21 seed. They have an average BWS of 807, 8 badges across their team, and their top A seed is none other than Edward Beast Troll MC Ling himself. The Nation, hello Nation. He is probably going to be streaming this and getting all the viewers for his channel, but you know what, I don't care. A seed partner is Mr. Boom. B seeds, Avenito and Rani, aka Raniemi. Triumphant return to the tournament scene for her, perhaps. Can't wait to see how she performs in this tournament. Their C seeds are Nuggle and Lena, aka Tilted AF, aka Floth. And their D seeds are Fayers and Kip. Two teams that I think fall kind of in the middle range. They're not the absolute top teams in the tournament, I wouldn't say, but they are both very strong. And I think this, hopefully... Oh, geez, I don't know which one this is. Probably this one. And hopefully, will put forth a good match for us today. That is what we would like to see. They are underway with the first warm-up of the match. Let's take a look here. We had Team PeepoLeave winning the roll, Nero with a 53 versus Lena with a 31. So this is the first warm-up being selected by PeepoLeave. They will also have the first ban and the second pick once the match itself gets underway. I'm fixing a roll here real quick. In the server. Alright, so there'll be the first warm-up, and we will move on to the second warm-up, that of Team The Nation, which they're just going to play the same map with a different approach rate. We're going to go from the AR9 to the AR10. Maybe it'll go better, maybe it'll go worse, hard to say. But I guess who needs 2 different warm-ups when you can just play the same map with 2 different ARs? That's the big brain strat for warming up for your matches, I guess, right? So as we said, this match will be underway here. 18 UTC, 1830 UTC will be the following match. That's between Team The and Team Bad Omen, so this will obviously overlap with that one a little bit. That one will probably take us maybe 1930, maybe 20 UTC, depending on how long it goes. I think those teams are both pretty good, so that should be another good matchup. Which means that we will probably have about an hour downtime, give or take, before the map pool showcase. Currently tentatively planned for 21 UTC, 9 p.m. UTC, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, 6 a.m. Japan and South Korea. Is that right? I think that's right. No, not 9 a.m. 7 a.m. 7 to 8 a.m. Australia time. Not sure exactly what necessarily to expect timing wise, or for the actual map pool completion. Yeah, they always look like it happens. Just get used to it. I know it's currently being worked on. Habib, who's map pooling, had his Toho Tournament 2 grand final, and that just finished up a little bit ago. So the map pool will be getting finalized here in the next couple hours. And they'll have to do replays, of course, and get those all prepared for the showcase. But since we have these matches now, it gives us some room, some time to kill before we get to that showcase later on. No deal there. And like I said, hopefully these are pretty competitive. You know, we got a little unlucky with the 6-0 a little bit ago between Titanic of Stygian. That name, just like can't get over it. Titanic of Stygian losing to Milky Warfare in that 6-0. But 100 Thieves winning 6-2 in their matchup against Suiji winners. So a couple matches that weren't all that competitive. But we did have that tiebreaker earlier on, of course, between Team and Furry Zoo. So we have gotten at least one quality match on stream today. Maybe we'll get another one out of one of these matches. I think these teams, again, you know, not like some insane skill discrepancy on paper, at least. I think there's a lot of good players out of the 16 in this and in the other matchup. So hopefully it'll go well. Hopefully it'll be fun. Hopefully you guys will enjoy as well as we make our way into the ban phase for our first match of the afternoon here. Just going first ban from PeepoLeave. See what they decide to remove from the pool here. We've seen I think the most common bans, you know, we've seen some Nomad 1, Nomad 5, Nomad 6, Hidden 2 if you're not comfy with Air 8 Hidden, Freemod 3 if you're not comfortable with Alt, or not Freemod, what am I saying? Freemod 3 has been banned a couple times. No, DT4. So seen a fairly wide range of bans, just depending on individual teams' comfort levels with the different maps in the pool. And, excuse me. Interestingly enough, it's going to be Hard Rock 3, the first ban from PeepoLeave. That is Silent Flame by Shimosuke Haruka. Relatively low star rating, lengthy consistency, kind of, some may say boring pick in the Hard Rock pool. So we won't have to deal with that. It's quite long, which is As most who know me understand, that is kind of what I dislike in pools. I don't like long maps. Free Mod 1 is going to be the first ban for the nation. That is Yokoso Japari Park. So that is the basically no mod 1 of the free mod pool. So I'm curious to see if they ban no mod 1 itself as well, as mostly just an aim map that requires mods. And then we will see the second ban from PeepoLeave. See if we can figure out what skill set they're trying to get rid of. If they ban another maybe longer consistency-based map, something like Crocus, or Hachigatsu Botsuki Akari, or No Mod 1. Nope. It's going to be Hidden 3. It's going to be Tsumoji Kaze. That is an interesting pair of bans. Kind of the stream and flow aim with some consistency factor to the aim itself of the Hidden 3 pick, paired with the lengthy, pretty straightforward mapping style of Silent Flame. And then we will see the last ban coming out from the nation. Is it going to be No Mod 1 to go with their Free Mod 1 ban? I just kind of hope they decide on it quickly, because I'm getting a little tired of listening to Cheat Reel. And it's going to be DT4 that is going to be Enderutsi. So that is the highest BPM of the DTs being removed. So they got rid of an aim map and a high BPM map to counter PeepoLeave getting rid of a moderate BPM map and a hidden map. Interesting, no real consistency in those bans. They're very specific. And now we will see the first pick from the nation. And I really don't know what I predict as a pick here. Maybe No Mod 2? We've seen some DT1 and DT3. One of those. But we will have to wait on them to be sure of what the pick ends up being, of course. My prediction's not always the greatest for the first pick, especially when there isn't a very clear-cut skill set present for that particular roster. They are taking their time with this pick. So maybe not quite 100% sure of what they wanted as their first selection of this match. It is going to be No Mod 4. So that is Rocking to the Beat. That is the tech No Mod pick, and that'll be Beast Troll going out, replaced by Mr. Boom for the first map. As we will get it loaded in, get the players set up, and get underway hopefully shortly thereafter. On a decently lengthy tech map, largely difficult based on the two kind of drop sections, I guess. I don't know. I've never come up with a good word to use for that, like the drop, but it's like that entire section, you know? And two difficult sections, and in between is a fair amount of free combo. But easy enough to find perhaps a slider break here and there, or maybe a miss on the little space triples in those Ki sections. You gotta keep your wits about you. And we have seen also a couple people missing on the longer streams. There's maybe 3, I believe. One before the first Ki, one at the end of the first Ki, and then one at the end of the map itself. So those will be what to look out for. And we have a player who is loading, so that's good. Let's see if I can reset their client, if it'll help. Not sure if it will or not. There it is. Okay, so there's Ranny on me. I believe maybe her first appearance in a Suiji Spring Cup. I mean, there's plenty of players that's probably true for, but for somebody who's pretty well known in the tournament scene, maybe a little bit surprising. And we are getting the GLHFs out, so we are going to get underway here. Map number 1 here in this matchup. It's going to be Reedcat, No01, Ataraxia, and W taking on Lena, Mr. Boom, Ranny, and Kip on the first pick here from the nation. We'll see how the first map goes for these teams. Who is best prepared, who is most ready for this matchup to begin. Don't think this pick particularly favors either team. I think this is one that's fairly well balanced among everyone. And a lot of SSs still alive. There are 5 of them currently. 3 players dropping any ACK at all. As we said, this is mostly going to be about those 2 long ki sections of the map where really all of the difficulty exists in this pick. Those are the only hard parts. But they also make up a lot of the map itself anyway, so. And here we go into the first one. Lena immediately breaking for Team The Nation, so that will be the lead over to PeepoLeave here. Right at the beginning of that section too, but that does mean he'll have a lot of time to build combo back up over the course of the rest of the map. For now, though, PeepoLeave with the early advantage. 4 FCs still alive. Mr. Boom's going to be the second one to break. The nation having a little trouble early on here with their first pick. Kip missing as well. There is only 1 FC left now on that side. Meanwhile, PeepoLeave still has all 4 of theirs. So maybe a little bit of nerves, a little bit of jitteriness. Not quite prepared for this one in the nation. No01 will be the first to miss, however, for PeepoLeave. So it'll be one of those 4 FCs gone as we get a little bit of Bancho lag here. Things will be able to calm down a little bit now. Looks like Mr. Boom did not in fact miss, but Kip did. Ranny either... Oh, Kip. See, there's that stream. We see people struggling on that. I don't know if Ranny DC'd. We see I'm having problems with that. While we're in the quiet part, I'm going to give it a quick panic to see if Ranny's still here. Okay, she is. Was just Bancho doing Bancho things, no worries. We're gonna miss a very small amount of map, but not a huge deal. It is still 3 FCs for PeepoLeave with No01 at about 330 combo. And looks like just a 1 FC for the nation. Mr. Boom finding a break as well as Lena, so pretty low combo. Kip missing as well. They're missing on the easy part. Ranny the only FC over there. Meanwhile, 3 FCs still alive for PeepoLeave. Per my understanding, as best I am aware, Ranny identifies as female, therefore I will use the, female pronouns to refer to them. That is my understanding of the matter, and I do not wish to discuss it any further at this point in time or at all in this stream. So I ask that players kindly keep such remarks to themselves and discuss them in a private forum. Thank you. Do you see PeepoLeave finding some trouble here? Several breaks occurring. No real combos alive on that side. Ranny, the only FC now left in the match. Mr. Boom and Kip at 300, 400 combo. Will this become backable here in the last moments? There is that long stream at the very end that could be enough to bring back the score for the nation. It's going to end up being, I think, very tight here. If they all keep their combo and all FC the stream, this may flicker over at the very last seconds. It's going to be coming. Here it goes, the long stream, and it is going to flicker over to the nation. The FC from Ranny and the longer combos in the last quarter of the map for the nation, able to bring it back for them. Ranny with just the 1x100 FC. Very impressive performance. No FCs on the board for PeepoLeave. They kind of fell apart a little bit at the end of that map there, and the nation were able to take advantage of it. So that is going to be the 1-0 in favor of the nation, with the first pick now to come from Team PeepoLeave. It is going to be Nomad 3 as the first pick from PeepoLeave. That is, of course, Zetai Zetsume, the alt map in the Nomad pool. Just a little bit over 2 minutes long, with 143 beats per minute, give or take. Not an overly difficult alt map, but it does have some patterns that you can trip up on. And, you know, much like any alt map, it's easy to miss really anywhere on alt. It just is the type of map that lends itself to, you know, I talked about this before with Gypsytronic, but it just kind of lends itself to chain missing patterns. If you miss one note, you might miss the entire thing, and that can really tank your score. It takes your act down, it increases that miscount. So you got to be careful on such maps. I think for the most part, this one not overly difficult, so I think this is one where most players will feel relatively comfortable. If they're able to play alt at all, this is the sort of thing where they'll be okay. It looks like we will see Beast Troll coming in for this one, as well as Abenito. So a couple of changes for the nation. Lena and Kip staying in over there. Looks like we're gonna have Not a Function, No 01 Ataraxia, and then not sure which A seed yet for PeepoLeave. They are still working that one out, it looks like, whether it's gonna be Reedcat or Nero for this pick. No 01 going out, so we may see Tomadoy as the B seed. And there it is. He comes right on in at that moment. So just the A seed now for PeepoLeave. Will it be Reedcat or will it be Nero? It is going to be Nero coming in saying sight read time. Yeah, unfortunately, my dude, it is not an incredibly difficult map, so you should be okay. I guess playing pools is just overrated for some of these players. Which, I mean, I guess if you can perform okay sight reading, that's fine, but I don't think it'd be something I'd be doing if it were my choice. I'd rather practice the pool and know what I was getting myself into, but, you know, they're big boys, they can make their own decisions. And hopefully we should be able to get underway here with our second map of this match. Here we go, underway. Not a function, the first one to break pretty quickly here for PeepoLeave. It is in about the first 50 combos, so won't hurt their score all that much, seeing as Kip also broke just slightly before. So, score is going to remain pretty even at the very early stages of this map. So we will go into the first Ki. Beast Troll and Kip going to both break on the slider stream, but so do Not a Function and Ataraxia. So it is 2 FCs to 2. Tomodoy Nero against Nuggle and Avenito. Kip going to break once again, misaiming that circle at the bottom corner. So advantage PeepoLeave here, and they're going to try to jump on that. It's going to be about a 40 to 50,000 point advantage. Kip missing again. There's a certain aspect of alt maps where it's just easy to miss like middle notes in patterns sometimes, and I think he's having trouble with that here. Nuggle is going to break, as does Not a Function, but the 2 FCs from Tomodoy and Nero still going strong. Meanwhile, Avenito, the only FC on the side of the nation. Not a Function breaks once again. Beast Troll MC is putting his combo back together. Nuggle did not in fact break, so it is still 2 FCs to 2. Beast Troll almost dead even with Ataraxia. Their score is very similar, but the big difference here, Not a Function leading Kip by about 90,000 points. And that is proving to be the difference between the two teams overall as well. The last third of the map to go. Everyone makes it through that wiggle stream. And this looks like it's going to stay in favor of PeepoLeave unless Tomodoy and Nero both find some trouble in the last Ki. Let's see how things go here for them. It's going to be a break from Ataraxia. That, I don't know if that's going to affect anything, but it's not going to affect anything. Not a Function breaking as well. That is combo advantage now to the nation, but they still need Tomodoy or Nero to break. I think it's still about a 200,000 point lead with just the very end of the map to come. So the nation would need Tomodoy and Nero to both pretty much to stop playing at this point, and that's obviously not going to happen. However, Nero does break. Kip had broken just before, though, and breaks once again. It's 2 FCs and a long combo to 1, and just the ending to come. This could flicker over. Oh my goodness! $5,000 points. I don't know. I have no words for what I just witnessed. Kip, despite the 279k, the nation ends up managing to carry the into a victory. Okay, so it wasn't quite as bad as it looked in the client. It was actually 14,000 points because of client lag. The score difference was 2.723 million to 2.709 million in favor of the nation. So it wasn't quite as crazy as that looked on the stream, with the score just kind of flickering over at the absolute last second, but it did still happen. The victory goes to the nation. That's a break point, and that is a 2-0 advantage. Yeah, that's just been how today's going. Second pick coming out here from the nation is going to be DT2. That is Titanic of Stygian, the Air 10.3 DT map. Which, I don't feel like anybody in here is known for being a 10.3 player, but it's all like a lot of experienced tournament players, so they can probably play early round 10.3 is just fine. So little ultra high level players engage in these tourneys. So I feel like the distinction you're failing to make there when asking that question is the difference between ultra high level players and ultra high level tournament players. There's a big difference between somebody like, I don't know, Freddie Benson, or, well, Elementary is a bad example because he's actually really good at tournaments, or like Mika, or Obtio, you know, those guys that are just like PP farmers essentially. Then there's also players who are the ultra level tournament players. So you've got your people like Bubbleman, and so on, who are really, really good at tournaments. I think a couple of the top tournament players have actually just kind of quit. Like Vaxe basically quit. Idiki quit tournaments after OWC last year. Those are obviously two of the, if not the two best tournament players in the world for quite some time last year. Both just quit tournaments. So they're not playing anything at all. I don't know, a personal decision on that one that nobody else is really privy to the explanation for. But I don't know. I think there's plenty of people who just aren't interested in, because they'd rather just farm PP than try to win badges in tournaments for one reason or another. Can't really offer an explanation to them other than there's really no reward to either. All you get is a badge out of tournaments. Many of them don't have monetary prizes, or if they do, they aren't all that big. So the motivation isn't necessarily quite there, perhaps. At any rate, getting into DT2 here, we do have a couple early breaks from both teams. We have Not a Function and No 01 missing, as well as Avenito from the nation, but they do still have 3 FCs intact, Nuggle, Beastrel, and Fayers. Fayers breaking, but so does Ataraxia, so that just trades. Nero still FCing, but it is Nuggle and Beastrel, both with the FCs for the nation, so they will maintain the lead. Interestingly, I think something underrated about Beastrel is he has worked hard at improving the skill sets where he was weaker. Things like DT higher speed maps in DT pools, as opposed to just, you know, like stream maps, as well as learning hidden. Very good performance here from him on this map, showing that off, able to FC 10.3s with ease now, and help carry the nation with the double FC alongside Nuggle to a 3-0 lead, as No 01 and Ataraxia both struggled a bit on that one with a couple misses from the former and a slider break or two from the latter. And that is a quick 3-0 for the nation, picking the shortest map in the pool and winning it pretty easily there. Straightforward pick, a straightforward win for them. Don't know what this is because it won't load. Are going to make our way into the fourth map of this match. It's going to be the second pick for Team PeepoLeave, still trying to get on the board. You know, the two very different picks coming out from the nation, successful on both of them, on rocking to the beat by 33,000 points at the very end, then Titanic of Stygian by almost 300,000 points, so a little bit a more safe win there. Zotai Zetsume in between that 14,000 point victory. So PeepoLeave, you know, you don't feel probably too bad. Like, you were very close in the first two maps, and then the nation, you know, picked the skill set that they were obviously not quite as comfortable with. So they're going to be switching it up again, and wow, we're going to be making a big change here. We're going to be going from DT2 to Hidden 2. That means we're going from the Air 10.3 DT to the Air 8 Hidden. That is rough. I mean, I guess it's something you probably become used to the more tournaments you play, but trying to go from 10.3 to AR8 is tricky business, and I think you may see a few different roster changes to get players in who are going to be comfortable with the lower AR. Interestingly enough, it looks like Beast Troll may be staying in for this one. As we said, it'd be kind of funny, you know, I was talking about he's improved his hidden and he's improved his DT, so it'd be funny to see him stay in. I don't think he's going to, though, with Mr. Boom on that roster, and he does go out, so it looks like we'll be getting Mr. Boom in all likelihood. PeepoLeave, meanwhile, you have Not a Function, Tomodoy, Ataraxia, and Nero by the looks of things. So that will be just the one change of Tomodoy coming in to replace No 01. Lena coming in for the Nation to replace Nuggle, Mr. Boom coming in for Beast Troll, and Randy coming in for Avenito. So, as I said, you know, the Nation basically completely switching up their roster into this map, which I think makes sense. All right, so we're going to get underway here. The area hidden, fairly straightforward. There's a couple of little tricky patterns, but for the most part, this is a very simple map for anyone who's moderately competent with AR8 hidden. And Not a Function going to find an early break on that linear pattern. There's a couple like that where you could just find a break if you're not perfectly comfortable with that linear aim. And Tomodoy is going to miss the next one. That 1-2-3 downward linear, almost vertical jump. Just trickier than it looks, really, especially with AR8. And Not a Function missing as well again. So Ataraxia and Nero, 2 FCs left. Both SSing, in fact. But their 2 teammates have both broken. Meanwhile, the Nation still has all 4 of their FCs. No SSs, but better combos as Tomodoy finds another break. This is the Nation taking a pretty big early lead here as Not a Function breaks again as well. 300,000 points already for the Nation. We only have a third of the map left to go. This is a very short one. So the Nation gonna feel very comfortable about this pick so far. There isn't a break in this map, so they won't be able to see the score, but you know, if you know your 4-way FCing, you know you've got a pretty good chance of winning that pick. This has not gone well here for PeepoLeave as Not a Function and Tomodoy both have struggled a fair amount. Not a Function really continuing to break while the Nation still has the 4-way, and Fayers does break it near the end here, as does Lena on the Buzz Slider, but it does not matter. 2 FCs and 2 very near FCs are more than enough to carry that team to an 800,000 point victory and a 4-0 lead in the match. This one is getting out of hand pretty quickly in favor of the Nation. Ataraxia with the 1x100 as well as Nero, both 1x100 FCs, which would be pretty impressive in its own right, but unfortunately just not enough, as the 2-way FC and the other 2 with 500 plus combos, while Not a Function down at 435k, Tomodoy at 580k. That is not how you win maps. It just is not going to do it on this early round, especially when the opponents play that well on a given pick. So 4-0 for the Nation and their pick next. That's a double break point. They have all of the momentum in the world. And it is going to be So this is, I love it when this happens because I get to talk about how it's like all the niche skill sets in a row. We go air 10.3 DT, then we go air 8 hidden. Now we're going CS 6.5 hard rock by picking Super Samurai hard rock number 2. Get in the precision aim gang for this one, for those little tiny circles. What would be now? See, next of course would be like the middle ground, right? It'd be CS5 Air 8 free mod if there was one, but unfortunately there is no such map in this pool. So we've just gotten all three of like the big niches. Yes, I'm gonna keep saying niche because it is correct. It's one of those amazing things about linguistics. This is going to see Not a Function Tomodoy Cornlord 7117 Jonah making his entry, and Reedcat taking on Lena Avenito, Beast Troll, and Fayers. I feel like niche is not as bad as saying chew instead of two, but you know, what do I know? We are going to get underway now. PeepoLeave still trying to get on the board. It is 4-0 in favor of the nation. There is not a second MP, as there is not currently a match ongoing. The other match is still in their ban phase, I believe, based on what I'm seeing in the tournament client here. And here we go. Not a Function just didn't play the first 5 notes for some reason. That's not going to help matters out for their team when they're already 4-0 behind. Actual double agent. Not sure what that was about. I don't know if he just like set his pen down or something. That was very strange, but it's going to help out the nation as they're going to start off with a nice little lead here. Very low accuracy for Tomodoy, going to help that out as well. 92. Nope, 98. Just kidding. Thanks, Pancho. Avenito going to find a break, though, and that's going to help out PeepoLeave. They should be able to take this lead back over with the combo advantage. 3 FCs still left. Maybe 2. I don't know what happened with Tomodoy there. Lead in favor of PeepoLeave. We'll see if they find any breaks in the last quarter of the map, or if they will maybe be getting on the board with a break point, no less. Thief versus Bad Omen has just begun, and they're picking the same map as we're playing here already as the first pick of that match, so that's fun. I feel like that keeps happening. But this does appear, as Beast Troll MC breaks, to be a PeepoLeave victory. Not a Function just died, but it does not matter because failed scores count. He had 925k, so that is a point in favor of PeepoLeave. They will take a break point, and it is now 4-1 the score. And it will be PeepoLeave with the next pick, so they get one of the break points back. We'll see if they can bring that back on their own pick as well. And Jonah goes in and FCs, so, you know, he did his job. Pretty incredible stuff. The Corn Lord himself. All right. It's going to be DT number 3 as the next pick from PeepoLeave. That is Yamanobori Kibun as their third pick of this match. Trying to win their first pick of their own. See if they can get a little closer to bringing this back level. We would still be behind 1 break point if they hold on to this, but it's a step in the right direction. And that's really what it's all about. See what the teams end up being. This one is fairly straightforward. A couple little bursts, a little bit of finger control required. But let's find out here. It's gonna be Not a Function, Tomodoy, Ataraxia, Nero, Lena, Avenito, Beastrel, and Fayers currently in the lobby. We'll see if any of those decide to change out, or if it does just end up being the rosters you're seeing on the screen right now. That would be, I think, what makes sense for the rosters for this map, so I think those will be the likely candidates to remain, but never know if you see any last-second player swaps. How do you play with HG? It's like dead center. I'm assuming he plays with HG. I play with JK. Am I weird for playing with JK? Anyway, we do see a GL coming out in chat from Avenito. We'll see if anybody else follows that up. We'll be able to get underway here with this next map. Hey T1G, love you. Hey Floff, love you too, buddy. And there is that late player swap. Floff going out, Nuggle coming in. I believe he played the previous DT, and he came in late for the last DT as well, so I guess not too surprising there. I think now our rosters are probably set. It's interesting because for the longest time I have always thought of Floff as a very skilled DT player, and he's gone out for the DTs here in favor of Nuggle, who must be a good DT player in his own right. Did well in the previous one, so I'm gonna say that's probably the case. Chili Chef's coming out in chat, so it looks like we'll get underway with our next map. Here we go, map number 6. Yamanobori Kibun DT pool. This one is about 240 beats per minute, 2 minutes 11 seconds long. But do not be fooled about the first third to half of this map is basically free combo for anyone who's able to get into this tournament. It's only in the last third or so that it becomes any more difficult than what you see on screen right now. And of course, as I say that, Tomodoy does find a break on that little 5-note burst, so that will be advantage the nation, about a 90 combo lead or so. Avenito is going to find a break as well. I think this is the first time that I can remember seeing 2 misses in the first 300 combo, let alone first 200 combo, let alone first 300-400 combo. I don't remember the last time 2 players missed in this intro, because this part is fairly straightforward. Now, I'm bad, so I would probably miss here, but, you know, I'm not in the tournament, so it's fine. So, combo lead in favor of PeepoLeave. I almost said gold lead. This is not League of Legends. Score lead in favor of the nation, but it's dwindling. However, there is still the more difficult part of the map to come, and that's where things are going to get interesting. Here you see those quick little bursts, everybody making it through just fine so far. Score lead just on the side of the nation, but I believe that will flicker over. Nuggle and Nero both finding breaks. That is 1 more FC gone from each team. 2 FCs to 2, Beastrel MC and Fayers against Not a Function. Excuse me, not 2 FCs to 2. I guess I'm just completely blind and missed Ataraxia missing. I apologize. Bottom left of the screen, I'll blame that. There's going to be a break from Nuggle. So we have Tomodoy, Not a Function with the combos for PeepoLeave, Ataraxia trailing them a bit. Beastrel and Fayers with the FCs and Avenito a bit behind them for the nation, making for a 200,000 point lead in favor of the nation with just the last quarter of the map to go, which is only a few seconds, really. They should be able to hold on to this lead. Nuggle with not a lot of combo, but just him alone is not enough to give PeepoLeave a chance at a comeback here with a 200,000 point lead. However, there is Fayers missing, but Nero misses as well. Still Beastrel MC with the FC, still Avenito with a big combo backing him up. That is more than enough to hold off Not a Function and Ataraxia. This will be another point for the nation. That is a 5-1 lead now, pretty comfortably, 300,000 points there. FC from Beastrol, just one miss from both Avenito and Fayers, 2 from Nuggle, a very strong performance from that squad on that map. Not a function with the FC for PeepoLeave, Ataraxia, next best combo with a 1 miss. Nero and Tomodoy both just lagging a little bit behind, not able to make up the difference between the teams on that one, and that means the nation at 5-1 now has several match points in their favor, and they will look to close this match out and move on in the winner's bracket to the round of 16 with the next pick. And we are going to see free mod number 3, Suki Zecho Show, as the next pick from the nation as they try to close this out. That is going to be our 234 BPM free mod pick. Reminder, of course, everyone, 2 modded players required. Doesn't matter what mods, they can be both hidden, both hard rock. They can be both easy if they wanted to. I don't know that anybody's going to do that, but I mean, the opportunity is there. It is allowed within the rules. Loading again, so I suspect that's probably Raniemi again. Let's find out here. There it is. I guess her client just does that every time. I don't know. There's certain players where that happens. I forget who it was. I think it was USC, maybe 2018. There was a particular player, literally every time they would come into any match they played, they would just be loading no matter what, and I don't know why. And I don't think I knew to try to fix it by closing and letting the client reopen back then. If Dada is still in chat, he would probably remember if that was indeed in USC. Probably because, no, not the map. A player who always showed up as loading. It's probably because her score submission is off. I never actually thought about that. I wonder if that's a thing, if it affects, it affects the way you're connected to the server, but I don't think it would be that. I don't know what it actually is, though. If you're stuck in a banjo tick, but like, why would it occur to somebody every time they join a lobby, though? You know, you'd think that would just happen once. Like, it'd be like a random chance of it occurring, not a 100%. I don't know. At any rate, we fixed it. It's Randy on the screen. We would have known it was her even if it said loading, because who else would it have been? But it does look like that aside, we should be set to go with what could be our last map of this match already, just an hour into it. We have W, No 01, Ataraxia, Nero against Randy, Nuggle, Beastrol, and Fayers. We'll probably curious to see if we get any over mods in this one. I could see, you know, Randy going hidden, Beastrol maybe hard rock, Fayers and Nuggle mods of their choice. PeepoLeave not as familiar with their mod comfort levels, so I don't know necessarily what to expect on that side of things. So we'll wait and see what they decide to choose for those 2 required modded players, and if they decide to over mod. We have seen a couple of hidden hard rocks on this. We saw Crystal hidden hard rock FC it earlier today in his match. I don't know how many people will be doing that, but it is definitely a possibility. This is not an overly difficult map. Neither hidden nor hard rock, I don't think, adds, you know, a strictly larger amount of difficulty than the other mod. This is pretty balanced since it's, I want to say AR 9.3, CS4, 230 BPM, pretty straightforward mapping. So we're going to find out, though, as we load up into the map. This is PeepoLeave's backs up against the wall here as they try to stay alive in this match. Will be W with hard rock, Nero hidden, No 01, and Ataraxia Nomad. Randy hidden as predicted, Beastrol with hidden hard rock. So very interesting, Beastrol, I mean, like we've said, he's been working on his hidden. I mean, I guess it's not super surprising, but I really did think he'd be playing hard rock only on this. Nuggle, though, will be the hard rock only player, with Fayers bringing in the anchor Nomad play. And this is one where any mistakes are typically punished pretty severely because there aren't that many places to miss. So that early break from Nuggle there is going to set the Nation behind a bit, as PeepoLeave does not have as many mods. They're not making the map quite as difficult for themselves as the Nation are. But Noah 1 is going to be breaking on no mod. That is not a fortunate sight. That's going to be combo lead over to the Nation. They're going to take that lead with the score as well. The overmod helping out there. We'll see if we get a Raniemi SS. Lord knows that is what she is known for as a player, of course. Accuracy god, 100% profile act and all that. Currently maintaining the SS early on. Did have a 1x100 earlier on Rockin' to the Beat. So we all know that the accuracy is on point from that player. Meanwhile, still the 3FC to 3, but the couple hundred combo lead for the Nation holding up. There's going to be a few hundreds for Ranny, so no SS will be forthcoming, but everybody holding combo. And that's what really matters at the end of the day anyway. Into the second Ki we will go. Nobody breaking on any of the little vertical up and down jumps. The soothing sounds of Kano playing us through this one. And it will be the Nation maintaining about 150,000 point lead here over PeepoLeave. But it is still 3 FCs to 3 and only a 200-something combo lead for the Nation, so definitely not out of the woods yet. Beast Troll MC finding a slider break. That's one of those FCs gone, and that's going to be the lead probably going over to PeepoLeave here. As long as they don't find any breaks soon, they will be able to take over that score lead. It's still 137,000, but that goes quickly when you're in the last third of a map. Not a great place. Oh, did Nero actually just break? Nero actually just broke. I don't even know what there was there for him to break on. What did he miss? There's just like a single node in between those spinners and he just didn't hit it? He and Bistro both breaking there, but that's advantage to the Nation. It is still 2 FCs to 2 and the combo advantage of Nuggle over Noah 1. Nero just kind of threw this one away for PeepoLeave. They had every chance at coming back at the end of this one, but Fayers is going to find a break. That is actually going to potentially give them a shot here. It's very little map left to go in a 200,000 point lead, but Nuggle breaking as well. It's only Randy left with a combo. This could come back in the last moments. I don't know if there's enough time. Noah 1 breaking. It's about 100,000 points. It's Ataraxia and W are going to make that amount of score up, I think, in the last few moments, especially with W having a mod. Is it going to come back all the way? Not quite. Not quite. The Nation just holding on to win by 45,000 points. That was almost winnable for PeepoLeave, but the Nation had a just big enough advantage that they were able to hold on in the last moments. And they take this one by a score of 6-1, advancing on in the winners bracket are the Nation, Beast Troll, and Co. Thank you, Nation. Good job to them. The FC from Ranny leading the way. And that will be it for this matchup. Nation going onward. Let's take a peek at who their opposition is next week. They will be facing Team Squirrel Pants. I can't get over that name. Team Squirrel Pants, who won by a score of 6-0 over Ketamine Racing yesterday afternoon. Very strong team. I believe that is the team of Badu and Kingling, among others. Chesman has Cookie Zeki on that one as well. Very solid roster. So we'll be seeing those two matched up next week.